This week has been packed, but we're going to just focus on two major developments: the tensions between Israel and Iran and the 80th anniversary of the UN Charter. Let's start with the Israel-Iran situation. It's been an exceptionally dramatic week. So dramatic, in fact, that all of us had to rush back to this very building on a Sunday afternoon to cover an emergency session of the Security Council convened after the US launched strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Debate was so heated, and not just because the air conditioning was out in our office on a Sunday afternoon, it was so heated that the president of the Security Council had to remind delegates to watch their language.
Before opening the floor, I would like to remind all speakers that this is a formal meeting of the United Nations Security Council and of the need to ensure proper decorum in the delivery of their statements and to refrain from personal attacks.
Once again, the internationally wanted war criminal Netanyahu succeeded in hijacking U.S. foreign policy, dragging the United States into yet another costly, baseless war.
Many nations here in this room engaged in diplomacy with determination and good faith. But the regime in Tehran had other plans. It used the negotiating table as camouflage, a delay tactic, a way to buy time while building missiles and enriching uranium.
I spoke with both Israeli Ambassador Deni Denoon and the spokesperson for the Secretary General, Stefan Dujarric, asking whether the US strikes had made the region any safer. And here's what they told me.
One very simple question: do you think after this operation, Israel is safer now?
Absolutely. Not only Israel. I think the entire world is safer. You don't have a radical regime which threatens to destroy member states of the UN. And today I think we have a historic days.
Is Middle East a safer place after the U.S. used the force?
The more we see unilateral use of force, the more we see violations of international law, the riskier the region gets.
Then Iran retaliated with strikes on a US military base in Qatar. Not long after the Secretary General released a statement expressing his concern, things shifted again, dramatically. President Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and Secretary General Guterres obviously welcomed this move.
Secretary General urges the two countries to respect that ceasefire fully. The fighting must stop, he said, as the people of both Israel and Iran have already suffered too much. The Secretary General hopes that this ceasefire can be replicated in the other conflicts in the region.
China's permanent representative Fu Tong called on all parties to honor the deal.
We hope the ceasefire could hold and could be abided by faithfully by all parties. No more deceptions this time.
I also asked Ambassador Denoon a few more interesting questions. A U.S. congressman today sent a letter to nominate President Trump Nobel Peace Prize. What is your opinion? And secondly, many leaders talking about another ceasefire, which is Gaza ceasefire. Do you think it's a good time now to talk about Gaza ceasefire? Thank you.
Well, first, I think that President Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. I think we should thank him for his leadership, for the brave decision he took, and to recognize the effort of the United States. Regarding your second question, yes, we hope to see a ceasefire also in Gaza. There is a proposal on the table that Ambassador Witkoff put forward, and we hope to renew the negotiations on that proposal.
Hopefully, not only will the ceasefire between Israel and Iran hold, but we may also see a breakthrough on the ceasefire in Gaza. And now onto the UN Charter. 80 years ago, on June 26th, representatives from over 50 countries signed the Charter of the United Nations. That day is now celebrated as the UN Charter Day. And the original charter signed in San Francisco is now currently on display here at the UN headquarters. The UN Charter is not just the founding document of this organization, it's the cornerstone of modern international law. On Monday, Secretary General Antonio Guterres and the President of General Assembly Philemon Yang officially opened the exhibit. and were among the first to view it.
To lay the foundations for a global order that will spare future generations from the catastrophe of war, a global order rooted in international cooperation and an unwavering belief in universal human dignity, an order in which the principles of multilateralism are respected and upheld. The charter you see on display is the result of that promise.
Then on 26th, the General Assembly held a commemorative meeting marking the Charter's 80th anniversary.
Follow when the Charter suits, ignore when it does not. The Charter of the United Nations is not optional. It is not an à la carte menu. It is the bedrock of international relations. We cannot and must not normalize violations of its most basic principles.
Well, may the spirit of the Charter continue to guide us all. But before we go, while launching the exhibit, we caught the exact moment when Secretary General Guterres was informed in real time about President Trump's ceasefire announcement on social media, and watch how he reacted.
In just 3 days, on the 26th of June, we will observe.
Well, that's all from me.